Hello everybody, here is Leonardo Galanti from EGS Service Engineering Department. Thank you for joining us and we wait a few minutes just to give to the other users the possibility to participate to this webinar. Thank you. Could someone confirm that my voice is quite clear? Okay, thanks a lot. So in this webinar, I will provide you an overview about our DentalCad software, and we will see the complete workflow related to the implant job, so model maker and CAD modellation. I think that we are ready to start. So, as you can see, here is our order manager, and the user interface is dynamic, so we have the possibility to change, to customize the different fields. For example, like this is very intuitive. Here, as you can see, we have the database with all the jobs and all the jobs information. And here we have the main menu, Libraries Manager. We have the possibility to manage the different libraries. We have different libraries for the attachments, for implants, for anatomic shapes, as you can see right here. We have the possibility to import and export the different libraries. So once we upload the libraries, new libraries on our server, you have the possibility to download them directly from here, because a pop-up appears. Okay, always here in the main menu we have the possibility to activate the integration with different CAM software. Currently, we have different integration, for example, with Caraprint by Cursor, Preform by From Labs, etc. As you can see, we have split the jobs in two different categories: fixed prostheses and removable prostheses. The removable prostheses, we have the possibility to make dentures, splints, partial framework as well. Let's come back to the fixed prostheses. Here we have different tools to create a new restoration, modify the restoration, export, import the restoration, import a smile design project in order to obtain a mock-up with our CAD. As you can see here, we have other tools we can activate. We can switch in the CAM software. We can make the model maker, CAD modellation, and implant planning, because we have the integration with the implant planning software by MediaLab. And we have the importer in order to import the S.R.L files. There is an easy tool here that allows you to find a restoration in different ways. For example, you can find the restoration with the gum, okay, in your database. So let's do a new job. Just click here, fill these fields, insert my name, clearly, if you have some questions, please write them down on the chat so we can answer you later. Let's proceed with our job. As you can see here, we have to choose the input data type based on the object that we have at our disposal. So we can scan an impression, we can manage a raw model or a prepared model. We have the possibility to perform different jobs. As you can see, crowns, implants, bar, provisional, mock-up, and so on. Regarding the raw model and the impression, as you can see, the model maker section appears. So now we are going to make this case. We have a new user interface here in the job definition. As you can see, the software gives you the Pontic automatically. So here I selected the screw-reel implant job. I'm going to make an abutment here. Just one click on it. And yeah, we have many strategies for the locator registration, for the locator acquisition, and we can choose the kind of antagonist that we have. In this case, full arch. Clearly now I don't have the scanner in my house, but otherwise we can even the possibility to acquire the models with the articulator, but it's not the case. And in the model maker, we can, for example, in case we have the dies, we can obtain removable dies. Here we have the possibility to obtain an orthodontic base, and we can change some parameters here or in the CAD in another moment, and we can confirm. Okay. So once we have confirmed, we can switch into the importer. So now I'm going to import the STL files. Here I got my model tree. I can manage the different meshes. Now I have I just have to assign the mesh. So master model, antagonist. As you can see here, we have the toolbar with different tools, selection tools. Okay, so we switch here in the locator. Sorry, because I missed one thing. Let me go back. Is important to choose the right library, as you can see here. Just one moment and I come back. Okay. Import the mesh again. Okay. So, as I was telling you, here we have the locator phase. So, locator. Here I know it's not the same library, but never mind. It's just to show you how the registration works. Now the 17. If I did something wrong, I can reset. I switch on 25. Apply. Okay. So now I'm able to switch in the model maker phase. As you can see here, in general, I have some information related to my restoration. Okay, so here we are. In this first step, we can manage the occlusal plane, because sometimes if we have some files from the AORL intraoral scanner, maybe the orientation is not good. So here we have the possibility to change the mesh orientation, but in this case is fine. Just to show you how it works. Okay. Here, if you want, you can through these sculpt shape tools, you can perform the setup of the models. For example, if you want to correct some areas, here you can do it. And we have to define the area of our models. With Control and Zeta, I can turn back. I can modify here the margin line if I don't like it. For example, here, with double click, I can correct it. Very easy. Okay, I switch in the lower. Same thing for the lower. Okay, so we are ready to switch in the next step. Model creation. And now the software is going to cut my models, and is going to close the meshes. It takes some time for this process, because the software is performing a lot of data actually. but as you can see, the workflow for the model maker is very easy only, and we have only 4 steps. Here we can see what the software is making. In this case, is creating the model on the lower arch. Okay, done. And as you can see now, our meshes are manifold. So in this step, we can modify these 2 parameters. The model expansion is related to the distance between the arch and the base that has been created by the software here. And we can manage the minimal analog distance. I'll show you what is. As you can see, we can manage the view sections. Okay. I apply this parameter. I'm going to increase it. So I'm going to change the distance between the analog and the base of the model. Okay. The more we have more distance now here. Maybe I didn't change it a lot, but this is how this parameter works. Okay, so let's remove the view section. Here in edit direction, we have the possibility to change the direction of the base of the models. Okay, so we can do it through these arrows. We can perform it on all, so on both the arches, or one by one. Okay. And here we have the possibility to create the gingiva. We can create the gingiva in 2 different ways, by line or by planes. We can manage the gum thanks to these planes, as you can see. Now I switch on the 25. by line. Okay, so basically here I have the possibility to change the gingiva's thickness. Click on apply. Okay, so we can move on. Here in the model refinement, the software creates the pockets for the analogs. And it takes a little bit because it's processing the data, as you can see here. Okay, almost finished. And as I told you, here you can see the pockets for the analogs. Okay. Here we can change, for example, the distance between the gum and the arch through this parameter, the gingiva margin expansion. Still here, we can apply the attachments in order to keep the models in occlusion. Here we can change the diameter, the height, the interface gap of the attachments. We can apply more than 2 attachments on our models. In this case, I applied only 2 of them. In this step, we can even apply the support bar for the 3D printer, and we can insert a text on our models. For example, if we want to have the reference of the patient. Okay. So, as I told you, we can insert a label. In two different ways, like this or integrated. You can manage the text and the size. Okay. We apply. Okay. As I told you before, we can even apply the support bar. You can change its diameter and the extrusion length. Okay. We go ahead. The export phase. Here, in the export phase, we can export the files. We can create the hollow. We can make the hollowing in two different ways. I'm going to perform one. So here I can decide how much material I want to keep on our boundary. Just confirm. And in the meantime, I'll show you another thing, because if we change these parameters, for example, diameter, distance, and side drain holes, we can obtain another kind of hollowing. So this is the other type of hollowing. As you can see, we have the drain holes for the 3D printer, and the models are empty inside. Okay, this was just to show you. Let's come back to our job. And this is the basic hollowing. Okay, now we can go ahead. So the software is creating the directory for the files. Okay. Here we have the folder with different files. As you can see, we have the folder dedicated to the model maker. If you want, we can make the switch into the CAM software. In this case, I've got the trial of the preform. It's just to show you how the integration, how the switching works. And we have all the files here. Okay, so now we can switch in the CAD modulation. And here we have the first step, the margin line creation. Regarding the implants, we can define the margin line directly on the gum, or if we want, we can go ahead and the software connects the teeth directly on the interface. Okay, so define margin line. I'm going to define the margin line on my abutment. Here we have actually three ways to define the margin line: automatically, or by draw. Okay. Yeah, like this, by drawing. Okay. So let's confirm, and we can go ahead. Next step, positioning. Okay. Here we have the possibility to change the libraries. As you can see, we can manage the draft angle. We can make the placement. Probably you are better than me in this phase. Okay. Here I have the possibility to manage the contact points through the carrot shape tool. For example, here. In general, we have the digital articulator as well, but we are going to arrange another webinar on that topic. As you can see, the software has corrected the contact points. I can go back if I want. And sorry. Apply another time. Okay. Here we have the sculpt shape tools. We can add material, remove material, smooth or deform. We have different brushes, and for example, here we have different shortcuts in order to switch from the head to remove and so on. We can manage the force. The brush changes its shape, as you can see, based on the force and the spot size. Here in the form, we have the possibility to manage the tooth portion. Let me remove the implant axis. Okay, this. So the software recognizes the cusps. We have the possibility even to draw, to define only an area on the tooth and modify it in two different ways: elastic deformation and rigid deformation, like this, with the shift and left click on mouse, or rigid. Okay, we have the possibility even to paint protected area. For example, here. I apply, and now I can't modify that area, as you can see. Okay, so here we have different color maps in order to check the contact points. Okay, so let's switch in the next step, implant. So the software creates the abutment based on the external shape. For example, here I can modify different areas of my abutment. I can edit the lower part because I have to cover the interface. I can modify manually if I want, and even for the screwed implant, like this, with the Alt and left click, I can change some parameters, and we have the guide. So our help assistant, and here there are all the parameters. So you can understand in a better way what you can modify, actually, all this area. For example, here I want a flat top surface, like this. Or regarding the screwed implant, I can manage the shrink, so the reduction. For example, on 16.0, as you can see, I have the wall shape. Okay, so we can change even the upper part of our abutment. Actually, we have improved this function. Like this. Okay. Better definition on the abutment. Okay. We can apply fit to gengiva. We can edit the screw channel as well. Okay. And we can make the collar here. Like this. Okay. Software copies the external shape clearly. Okay, so we can go ahead. The next step, the connectors. So here I have the possibility to disable the connector, or to change its shape. We have many shapes, and we have an advanced mode in order to modify the connector, like this. Can modify the central section as well. Okay, we confirm. We go ahead. Here we can sculpt the shape again. We have other color maps. We can apply a pin or hole. We can customize it. We can change the angle, the height, as we prefer. Okay, let's go ahead. So the software creates the holes, but if we want, here we can export our teeth without the holes, like this. Just confirm. Okay, this is a thing related to my directory, and we can go ahead. And here the job is ready for the CAD. I've already showed you the CAM integration. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration.